Wake up, it's morning. This is the morning drive on the COP radio.
My test is now a testimony. So the essence of my praise is centered on your grace. It was you, my lawyer in that courtroom. It was you, my soldier on that battlefield. So the essence of my praise is centered on your grace. Adum. Hey, Adumo, Nyame, Adumo, Adumentina, Metiasi, and Awadumtina, Lord, the essence of my praise is centered on your grace. Adum. Hey, Adumo, Nyame. Lord, the essence of my praise is centered on your grace. Adum. Who has changed my story? Who has given me a song? Turn my mourning into dancing. It is you and just your grace. You have changed my story. Protocol breaker, you made a way. You turned my mourning into dancing. It is you and just your grace.
Get connected with God every day with great Christian music and positive inspiration right here on the station COP
Radio. I sail through without you. Your loving kindness, grace and mercy brought me through. So the essence of my praise is centered on your grace. Could not have made it without you. Yeah. Could not have sailed through without you. By your loving kindness and grace and mercy brought me through. So the essence of my praise is all centered on your grace. Of my praises centered on your grace. You have been my doctor on that sick bed. By your stripes I am healed, I am free.
Wake up, it's morning. This is the morning drive on the COP radio.
Turn my pit into a well. So the essence of my praise is centered on your grace. Adum. I've been through a lot, but grace sustained me. My test is now a testimony. So the essence of my praise is centered on your grace. It was you, my lawyer in that courtroom. It was you, my soldier on that battlefield. So the essence of my praise centered on your grace.
The essence of my prayers is centered on your grace. Jeremiah was telling God's people that 70 years after devastation, God would deliver and restore them. Despite the fact that they had repeatedly abandoned God, He would not abandon them. Said He will not. God will not abandon them. In fact, God was planning and preparing a bright future for them. This promise also reminds us that no matter how deep our own personal, gloom may seem, God does have plans for us. We will keep His promise to us. He will deliver and bless us. We can have a vibrant hope and a bright future because of His faithfulness and our trust in His Son, Jesus Christ, who delivers us from every foe. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to the Inspirational Morning Drive. Verse of the day, Jeremiah chapter 29, verse number 11. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you a hope and a future. Do you know this plan that the Lord God Almighty has for you? He said, declares the Lord, capital L, capital O, capital R, capital D, the Lord. Plans to prosper you. That prosperity will be in good health, prosperity in the soul, prosperity in health, prosperity in your marriage, prosperity in every aspect of your life. He's saying that I will not harm you. Are you afraid that you entrust your whole being to His hands? He said, I will not harm you. Trust me, I will not. Yes, I will not harm you. Give your cares unto me, cast them unto me. I will not harm you. I am here for you. Plans to give you hope. The world can give us hope. The world is planning to give us hope for tomorrow. But the next day comes and they tell you, I'm sorry, I can't do it. But He says, I will not harm you. I'll give you a plan of hope and a future. Thank you for joining in live on COP USA Radio. Good morning to you, Benedicta Brookman, J, Sister Nia Grace, all the way in Dansuman, Accra, Reverend Mrs. Ernest Nankai Taylor, wonderful mother-in-law, Kobe Janfi, all the way in North Carolina. I call them North K. Eddie Don Uda Afa, forgive me if I pronounce your name wrongly. Welcome and thank you for joining in. Good morning. Please let us know where you are joining us from. Janet, how is Jamaica? Wagwan, Mama. Denise, all the way in Guyana. Blessings. Nana Akosia Sapoma as well is also here. Elder Joshua, good morning to you and rejoice. God blessings to all single souls. 10 minutes past the hour 9 Eastern Standard Time, 15 downside the hour. Reverend Markway comes up, and then 30 minutes past the hour, we'll cross over to Ghana with Kwabena Obendako. Well, he wants to talk to us about personal financing, and if you are interested in setting up a business in Ghana, how you have to set your personal finances in order, so when you are ready to transition to Ghana, it becomes easy for you. Birthday dedications as well. Live, we'll be bringing them to you. And thank God, it's Friday. Live on COP USA Radio.
We are away. Be my guiding light. Oh, we are away. Cloud by day, fire by night. Leave away, Lord, I pray.
Thank you for joining in, Uncle. It's always a pleasure having husband and wife. Well, the wives are bringing their husbands on, I believe, and thank God it's Father's Day next week. So please make sure you honor that gentleman in your house, honor the men in your life. Father's Day coming up. So in line with that, let me remind you, hopefully, God willing, from Monday throughout to Friday, the men's ministry of the Church of Pentecost North American region will bring in men on to share on the morning drive, giving us more insight about manhood and the life of man, the kingdom agenda. And God willing, on Friday, we will, if rain doesn't set in, we will pitch our camp at Philly, PIWC Philadelphia, PA, and then we'll bring you live, the morning drive live from Pennsylvania.
If I from favor,
morning. This is the morning drive on the COP radio.
Uncle Eddie, so he's a pastor. Okay, Pastor Eddie, thank you for joining in live on COPU Essah Radio. Let me give you the rightful title to you. Honor, honor is due to those who needs to be honored. Well, too many people send money. They earn to buy things they don't want to impress people that they don't like. Rich people have small TVs and big libraries. Poor people have small libraries and big TVs. Oh, Zig Ziglar. Well, Zig Ziglar is saying that rich people have small TVs. Is that true? And big libraries. And poor people have small libraries and big TVs. Oh, Zig Ziglar.
Mercy and grace.
Get connected with God every day with great Christian music and positive inspiration right here. COP Radio.
Please show me your face. Please show me your face. Please show me your face. Please show me your face.
Ellen, I have no idea for those who have big TVs and big libraries. You know, I believe that he said that because once you have a smaller TV, if you have a big TV, you know, you are tempted to sit. Those of you who have basements and you want to put up, giant screen in the basement. Anytime you are tired, you just sneak down there and then you just put it on and then you are watching and the sound is boom, 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 boom. I love that sound. So when you have big TVs, the tendency for you to read is less. Well, 15 minutes past the hour 9 Eastern Standard Time. This is COPU Essah Radio, broadcasting to the nations from 1450 Valley Road, Wayne, New Jersey. Reverend Dr. Ebenezer Markle with Living Streams International. The Forever Battle, Matters of Faith. We'll be right back after this.
Hello, this is Reverend Dr. Ebenezer Markle of Living Streams International, bringing you Matters of Faith with Graphic Online. And we're using this place courtesy of La Beach Hotel. We're so grateful to them. This morning I'd like to talk about, bring much more sobriety, say the forever battle. Are you aware that sometimes we can be engaged in certain warfares where it doesn't seem to stop? It doesn't seem to end. You know, it's a forever battle. And the war just keeps going on. The war just keeps going on. And it just keeps repeating itself. It's a forever battle. We don't see head, we don't see tail of it. It just keeps going on and on and on and on and on. Are you aware that sometimes this happens? You know what? There's a story in the Bible of a man called Jacob. He met an angel, and there was a wrestling contest. And in that wrestling contest, it was an adversarial situation. And he just kept fighting and was asking for a blessing, and he never really got a blessing. But he was fighting for a blessing, so he was in a no-win situation. Yeah, the end, it went well for him. But it was through the night. Wrestled with him through the night. And you know what? In the end, the breakthrough came when he was wounded. The breakthrough came when the joints of his bones were disconnected. The breakthrough came when there was a forever wound on him. The battle continued. And I'm wondering, the reason for that battle was a change of name. The reason for that battle was a new definition for his life. And Jacob never won the war until he was asked, "What is your name?" When he said his name was Jacob, that was when the reality of his character hit him. You are a crook. You're a scoundrel. You cheat people. You sacrifice wife and children and goats to save yourself. I mean, boy, you even steal from your father-in-law. The definition, his name meant Jacob. His name was Jacob, meant supplanter, a cheat, a thief. And guess what? Until he was confronted with a life-changing revelation that you don't need to be a thief. You don't need to be a supplanter. You can be a prince. You are Israel as a prince. As a prince. You know what? Sometimes there are some battles that don't end until the transformation takes place. Sometimes God pushes us into certain situations, and the reason why He's putting us into those situations is to bring transformation into our lives. And until the purpose is achieved, God, the word says, when He sends forth His word, it accomplishes the purpose for which it was sent. It accomplishes the purpose for which it was sent. So when God sent His word, that word would accomplish the purpose for which it was sent. And it won't come back void. So it will be there until the purpose, that is transformation, is achieved. Until the purpose of transformation is achieved. Yeah, pure and simple. So there are some never-ending battles because we have not come to the moment of revelation. We have not come to the place where God is opening our eyes to new revelation. Where God is bringing us to a place of new definitions. God is bringing us to a place where we do things differently. Where we talk differently and we do things differently. You're going to get a barrage of attack. Everybody's going to be on your case. Everybody's going to be upset with you. So far as you keep on the pathway of gossip, and so far as you keep on the pathway of slander, and you keep on the pathway of denigrating other people, you're going to get a cachet of enemy activity until transformation comes. So there's a battle, there's a forever battle, and the only way to end the forever battle sometimes is to make new definitions. New definitions will bring transformation. Anyway, the choice is yours. See you later.
My daughter was assigned a family tree project as homework from school. While we had fun working together, helping her with the project also gave me an opportunity to share with her our family story. While most of our family still lives in Ghana, I came to the United States for school, and stayed afterwards to build a career here. I now have a family of my own in America, but my connection to my parents and siblings back home means everything to me. I do what I can to provide for my family back home, and I send money every month. But sometimes I would worry about the future. What if something happened to my mom or dad? How much would it cost for us to fly back to attend the funeral? Would I be able to afford to contribute to their funeral expenses? And if I empty my savings to contribute, where would that leave us in America when we returned? Would we still have enough saved if something unexpected happened back home? These questions kept me up at night until a friend in our cultural group told me about Fam Provider. With Fam Provider, I'm able to include members of my family with my life insurance plan, even family members who live in an approved home country. The plan includes a term life policy for myself and a family rider to cover my spouse, my children, and up to 4 parents. This even includes step-parents and parents-in-law, as long as they are legal residents of the US or an approved home country. Family rider coverage is guaranteed with no health questions. This means as long as I qualify for the policy, my family members are guaranteed to get coverage, regardless of their health. If a family member on the rider dies from an illness within the first year, the premiums I paid for that member will be refunded with interest. The full death benefit is payable for any cause after the first year. My coverage lets me know my daughter will be safe if anything happens to me, and the coverage for my family assures me that money will be available to cover unexpected expenses if something happens to them while the rider is in force. Providing for my family is important to me, and with Fam Provider, I know I'll be able to do my part. Coverage is available for all eligible family members in the US and in Ghana, with other countries to be added as the program grows.
The Kingdom agenda rests on your shoulders, Oberima. The 2021 National Parent Week and Father's Day celebration is here again under the theme Revived by the Spirit with Godly Influence to Possess the Nations. Make room to be influenced by the Spirit of God on the national level.
Man, the image and the glory of God.
Man, be strong and courageous.
Man, maximize your potential.
Man, built for godly influence.
Mondays and Fridays, June 14th and 18th. Regional Influence, Tuesday, June 15th. And the Jerusalem Influence, your districts, Wednesdays, Thursdays, Saturdays, and Sunday as we honor men of influence in our community. Oberima, it's time to take your rightful place. Happy Father's Day, Oberima.
Come rain or shine, I will be on top. I'm winning in the morning, winning in the afternoon.
Get connected with God every day with great Christian music and positive inspiration right here on the station, COP Radio.
God is at my side, He will never leave, I will never leave, He will never leave, I'm an overcomer, and I don't know defeat. Everything I do, He will never leave, I'm an overcomer, and I don't know defeat. Everything I do, He will never leave.
Well, thank you all for joining. 25 minutes past hour 9 Eastern Standard Time. Well, the battle to change the name that happened to Jacob. You don't have to go through that Apache State before you want stuff to change in your life. Well, there's a conversation going on in the chat room. I said, Zikla said, rich people have small TVs and big libraries, and poor people have small libraries and big TVs. So Sapoma is saying that if you have both big library and big TVs, what happened? So Sapoma, if you have both, and which one will be the first point of call when you come back from work? I know you work, you are a nurse. You come back at night. Will you go to the library or you go to the TV? Which one will you go? Let me know. And Joshua is supporting you. He says he's calling for a debate. So big TVs, big library. Which one will you go first?
He will never leave. I'm an overcomer.
Everyone rejoices, dancing, whilst Kobe says that if you have a big library and a big TV, then you are classified as a middle class. Okay.
I know I can do anything.
Rule number 1, never lose money. Rule number 2, never forget rule number 1. Warren Buffett.
The conqueror, 'cause the greater one lives in me. I am the champion.
So Sapoma says that when she comes back from work, I go for my TV and Netflix to relax after a very long day. I'm not going to take any encyclopedia to read. So you see where we're going to. What is the use of that big library, Sapoma?
The better I move forward. The higher, the stronger, the better I move forward. Everything I do, everything I say, everywhere I go, there's no we love. I will love. I will love. I will.
Well, if you can say TV to listen to the news. So if is your TV big or is it small? Do you have a library? Is it small or is big? Which one is it? So man, in the image and the glory of God, be strong and courageous. Man, maximize your potential. This Monday is going to be on a national level, revived to influence others for the kingdom of God. Tuesday is going to be regional level, godly influence, God's method of raising giants. Wednesday, district level, the Holy Spirit, an agent of godly influence in the home, church, and community, the character of a man with godly influence. On Thursday, national level comes back again. On Friday, prayer, the key to godly influence. Saturday, godly influence, the secret to winning souls. Well, once we get all these secrets, let's get into practical terms. Sunday, my favorite day, revived by the Spirit with godly influence to possess the nations, and crowned it up with Father's Day celebration. Sincerity. Okay, say if you says that big TV, tiny library in my drawer. If we have to flip it. If you change your table. Do a virtual tour in people's home and see the big TV and then the small libraries. Kobe's coming back again. Say if you have had your fair share of the library, then pass it on to the kids and don't place a small TV in the library because you might become poor. Okay, that is Kobe. Minutes past the hour 9 Eastern Standard Time. Very soon we'll be crossing over to Ghana with Kwabena Obendako. I'm talking to us on personal financial education. Well, Zig Ziglar is causing a commotion this morning on the Inspirational Morning Drive. It says that rich people have small TVs and big libraries, and poor people have small libraries and big TVs. What is your take on this quote from Zig Ziglar this morning? will say there's something wrong with some of our leaders. The Deputy Minister Designate for Lands and Natural Resources, Mr. George Miriku Duka, has said there is nothing. He said there is nothing wrong with mining in the country's forest reserves. Okay. Send the song through my WhatsApp and let's see what song is that. An intruder somewhere, Sergeant Alote or Otekona. Sergeant Alote, what one? Good morning to you. I believe you are doing fine all the way in Cleveland, Ohio. The Deputy Minister Designate appearing before the Appointments Committee of Parliament. He said in 1900 we have about 8 million hectares of forest cover, and out of that we gazetted 1.6 million hectares, and that is what we have been protecting. The remaining are for development purposes like farming and so on. So we need to see how we can take advantage of the opportunities from these reserves. Well, if I was the president, my friend, this minister designate minutes past the hour 9 Eastern Standard Time. Well, Sergeant Alote, people are saying that we have to bring you to the trial court this week. The COP for kill me, and you brought yourself. You told me not to say it, but somebody posted it on social media. We're crossing over to Ghana with Kwabena Obeng Dakon. Sergeant, verdict is coming on your case, so hurry up and answer questions here. Well, thank you for joining in live on COP USA Radio. Let me see if my brother Obeng Dakon is set, and we'll bring in our conversation this morning. Video signals to come in from Ghana so we can have a chat with Kwabena Obeng Dakon. Well, Sergeant, people are coming all the way from Texas. We have to open up the gates. The country is open, my friend. The country is open.
It's morning. This is the morning drive on the COP radio.
Sergeant Nias what's now 5 years to say na Jim Kwansesi na on new ba ekot na. Oh yeah. Sergeant, you have to come for special tutorials from Kobe and myself. Yes, Adia will not let you go. Thank you, every single soul. 38 minutes past the hour 9 Eastern Standard Time. Well, Zig Ziglar talk is still on. Do you want a big TV or a small library, or a big library, or a small television? Sergeant Alote. Sergeant, you have to make this thing open. Stop this restricted wedding and all that. Yes, I scan here from Mount. We want to come in person, Sergeant. So most of us want to come in person. 39 minutes past the hour 9 Eastern Standard Time. Well, all is set. Kwabna Obendako, all the way from Ghana, joining me to share an inspirational time with us on personal financial education. Thank everyone. Well, it's late, but we'll still have to do this kind of education live on COP USA Radio. Binda joining me all the way from Ghana. Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon.
How are you doing? The same world with the same time, different times.
Happy anyway.
Awesome. Awesome. So, Kwabna, let's start with our talk today. You sent a text that you want us to look into personal and financial education. I know anything that you come up with, you have synopsis of issues with that you've come up with. So why do we have to go into that? And what have you observed? What have you noticed? And why now you want us to go into that? I know it's something that you've started. Why go into that direction?
Thank you very much, and thank you for the opportunity. I'm grateful. Money is something that we all use. And as a matter of fact, when you were going to school, the courses that people were choosing, they were choosing them because there was demand for it. So let's say they said, this, when you finish, you get a job. I mean, mainly if they say you get a job, it means that, there will be some kind of remuneration. And so if you have a family, you have to pay rent or you have to pay school fees. If you go to the hospital, it's the same. And yet money or finance is something that most of us have not critically studied, which means that we just move through life and we hope that God will help us to get money, or maybe the government will help us to get money. As a matter of fact, most of us will try to leave our country and go to, we don't seem to go to poor countries. We seem to go to countries that we think have money. Why? Because we are all looking for some level of financial success, but most people don't study the subject at all. And so I feel it's something that we have to discuss. I actually wrote a book on that, Streamline, which is how to teach yourself money. It's financial education. The things that I have learned trying to, live and trying to build business because your understanding of finance goes a long way to affect your professional life, especially if you're trying to build a business. Most of your decisions will just come from what you know, and if what you know about money is wrong, it's likely that your business is going to struggle, and it's so likely that you may not be able to succeed with your business.
So what is the first point of call when you want to go into this personal financial education? What is the first point that an individual needs to start with? Where do you start from?
We have to go to the first principles, because not many of us are coming from families that made money. Made money means that they built their own finances, whether through business, whether through their professions, and I'm not talking of the money that comes from politics, or somebody starting an organization and becoming rich, because those are not non-profit organizations and becoming rich out of that. That's not what I'm talking of. I'm talking of the one that applies to somebody like me. Maybe I don't play football, I don't sing, I'm not an actor. I just happen to have been to school, and I want to become financially successful. Those kind of people, what are the steps that we have to look at? We have to know what we know about money and what we don't know about money. Most of us, the family didn't teach us, the school did not teach us, and it's also likely that what we are being taught in our religious institutions is not going to make us to have any financial independence at all. So the first point is, what do you know about money? We should know that. What I know about money, is it far from the truth, or is within the circle of the truth, of truth? Because the farther you are from the truth, the more frustrating you're going to live in terms of you trying to get results. And so if your belief system on money is also far from the truth, it will show. And so if you ask a typical person in our country, how do you become successful? They will tell you that, they will just quote you like that. And ask them, so when is that blessing going to work for you? So in terms of that, we all coming from Christian backgrounds. There are a lot of bats that have been hung on our neck or been put in our brain, which after 20, 30 years, we should be questioning them. That if you say God's blessing makes rich, I think that every one of us is blessed anyway. Every one of us. The next step is, how do you make this blessing a reality in your life? And that one is not a miracle. That one is fruit of critical thinking. It's a fruit of right information, right financial data, and their application. And that's where the missing link is, where we all just believe that it is not in our hands and supernaturally somebody, so that's why people preach about miracle money and things like that. But those who are doing well financially in this life, there is something that they know that the rest don't know. And if you look at our community as Africans, the content or the depth of the knowledge that goes around in our circles, whether on social media or on our radio or on our TV, I dare say that they are very shallow. And therefore, we are not able to take serious charge of our finances, even at the personal level, before you even go into business or into the country level or continental level. Because a lot of the things that we understand about money, our results prove that there is more that we have to know. So that's it.
Okay. So, Kwamna, what is money?
What is money? It's the one that people trade with. Some say it's an idea. Some say it's a paper. Some say it's dig it on your phone. So I don't know how to define money, but it's something that you trade with something that you want to get. It's something that most people have not understood, and most people don't even know how to define it. Some say it's spiritual. Some say it's just a result of idea. I think money is just a compensation you get by trying to solve economic issues in your community. That's money.
So let's start from the personal educational level. If now that money doesn't conjure from heaven and drops down into your pockets, and people lifting up their bags in churches and money start dropping, either it's true or it's not true, then we'll leave that to them, those doing that to do it. But if really you want to have money and then use that money as a means of exchange, or you put it into investment, personally, if you are starting from your personal level, what are some of the steps that you have to put in place for you to start building yourself financially in terms of education?
In every community that we live in, there is a financial system that works. So let's say the financial system that works in Ghana is entirely different from the financial system that works in where you are in America. If I want to buy a house in Ghana, or if I want to build a house, the bank loan, if I take it, it's not good because the loan probably is 20-30%. If I want to, for instance, we are into property development. If I want to procure loan and build and rent, it's almost suicidal because the interest rate is very high. What applies here in terms of trying to build wealth in our country then have to fall in a whole different level. My grandfather was a farmer. He had sheep. He had his own goat. Growing up, what I saw at the latter part of his life is that he had a land. He had a tipper truck. So maybe 15 years to him dying, he will use the truck to load the sand and pack it on his land. When he was not able to work again, he was selling that sand to people for money. Now, somebody who could not read, who could not write, but he was able to build his own business. He had his own cocoa farm. He didn't die poor. Now, you and I know there are a lot of professors, doctors, lawyers, who at the end of their life are virtually poor. The difference is the financial information that my grandfather had, even though he didn't go to school. If you go to most of our towns in Ghana, medium towns, you see the buildings there, or you go to Bantama, for instance, you see the buildings there. Our grandparents who built these houses never went to school.
Yeah.
But they had serious sense of finance. They had cocoa farms. Yeah. They had their own goals. The gold, they traded, So I'm saying that the kind of education that we are we are pushed into, is devoid of financial education. So we go to school, we become doctors, lawyers, engineers, thinking that will make sure that will make us become prosperous. But the fact is that the financial education was not added to that school. So that's why you said, some people didn't go to school, but they have money. It's because the kind of information that you need to make money is not in school. Mm-hmm. Even those who do MBA and finance, they do them so that they can get a job with it. And getting a job and working and being paid and building financial success, financial wealth, they're entirely different. And you and I know that even those who are paid in terms of salary, which may be good salary, still, some of them, when they lose their jobs, within 6 months, they struggle. Why? Because the information to build something that even if you don't have a job for years, you can still live your life and take care of your family and help other people, is not necessarily in getting a salary. It's something that the money that comes to you, your ability to make critical decisions with it and grow that money over time. And that information I'm saying is hardly in school, and it's not even in a professional life. So professionally, I work to contribute to society, but I should be able to separate my finances from my profession. Mm-hmm. So it does not really matter the kind of profession that I have. If I have very strong financial information over time, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, I'll be able to build an appreciable level of financial wealth, such that if there is sickness or if there is a problem, I will not have to beg to eat. And that kind of information is what we all have to have. And I'm saying that it's not in school. It is not even in church, because in church, all that they tell us is that bring your salary, bring your tithe, and give to the work of God, and God will make you rich. And then big men in the churches will come and tell us the same thing. They will give us testimonies as to how they brought money to the church, and then they became wealthy, without teaching us the basic financial skills as to the discipline, the critical decisions that they took for them to build from A to Z or from B to C. They don't teach us those critical things. So a young man starts to work, and the first money he gets, he goes to buy land with it. He says that I'm tired of paying rent. And then he locks his financial future forever. Or he gets money and he goes to buy a car with it. Or he gets money, you are coming from a family like mine, but you go to stage a very big wedding. Forgetting that after the wedding, you're going to have maybe children, you're going to live, and you would need resources to live, And then you start to experience pressure, because they say that most of the pressure is from family, young family. they are financially related. And as a matter of fact, most of the divorces that we see, one way or the other, are financially related problems. So the moment you have control over the money, what it means is that, let's say I'm spending 1,000 as a family, but I have 10,000 coming in every month. The pressure is low. But if I'm spending 1,000 and I have 500 coming, there's problem. So there's constant problem. And the world financial system, like in your country, is built on debt. So for instance, in America, most people will never own a house or own a car if they don't have access to debt. Now, if you come to Ghana, we don't use that. So you must understand what works in Ghana, and you must understand what works somewhere. But most people confuse them. And that's why most people don't even have any financial goals or financial dreams for themselves. So let's say I'm 30 years today. I'm planning that by the time I'm 40 years, I should have maybe 100,000 or 50,000 invested, even if it's not in a business, invested somewhere. That if there's a critical problem, that money can take care of me. Most people don't have that at all. They just hope that one day some supernatural power will just, and then I will get money. And for me, that's lack of understanding of the basis, the fundamental first principles of finance.
So finance is not taught in school. It's not taught in the church. But if you look into the good books, the scriptures, God teaches more about finances and all that. So where do we get this information from?
For instance, Jesus said that who would want to build and not sit down and count? He didn't say that who want to build and not sit down and pray. Sit down and count, do the accounting. What is it going to cost me to build this house? Sit down and cost it. How much is it going to cost me to build my life? Which means that when it comes to building, it calls for critical thinking. It calls for high level of intelligence. It calls for high level of analysis, of planning, of critical decisions. So you should know that you were not taught. You're not given that. That's why you struggle with money. Most people struggle with money. Let's face it. It doesn't even matter how much they're paid. Most people don't even understand the taxes that they pay. When they get the money, the taxes that they have deducted on their pay slip, they don't even know it, and they don't really want to bother to know it. And yet, the people who control wealth, that's where the attention is. So you have to take the first step to say that this is as much critical as any other thing, that I must study money if I'm going to live on this earth and become successful. Because if you're not successful in terms of finance, even if you have dreams, great dreams, whatever fuels your vision is still money anyway.
It's money, sure.
Whether it's your money or somebody's money that you want to go and assess, you must know why would they give you money to fund your project if you don't understand the numbers. So, and part of it is also that if you look at our educational structure, money is actually a function of mathematics. But most of us will go to school or accounting. And most of us will go to school, and that's the subject that they tell us that is very difficult. So they tell us to go and do the drumming and dancing, and then it gets to a point we get money and we don't make good decisions.
You don't want the guys to come and catch you up here.
They should come, because we are the ones running the country. If you are not happy with our finances, we should ask them what were they taught. So because it's not just about I went to school to do this and I'm in parliament. The document that they put there, can you analyze it? Can you break it down? Do you have the capacity to understand it? Most of them don't. And then we are hoping that they will move us into prosperity. It becomes difficult. So a lot of the laws that are set financially are set to keep a lot of people in poverty. Because you have to have your own financial system, financial structure as well, for you to beat the system. So we in Ghana, we must understand, let's say if I want to build, let's say 2 million, 10,000, 20,000, I must set my timelines, and I must see how I get revenue. And that's where most people will turn out to become thieves, because the financial information is weak. So the only way that they think they must make money is to steal. When the reality sets in, and you see what is coming in and what is going out, and they don't make any sense, and you don't have very strong morals, you will give up and start to change the invoices. When they send you start to add something to it. When you're a minister of state, you start to add 10% to it, because without that, you have no other ways of you trying to make any money at all, because your financial understanding probably is that much weak.
Well, thank you very much, Governor Obin Dakun. So, Governor, are you available?
available in terms.
Are you available if somebody wants to speak with you, get guidance and directions? Are you available?
Yes, as much as I can. Yes, my WhatsApp my WhatsApp phone is there.
Okay. So if you wouldn't mind, you can put up your. If you wouldn't mind, you want to put up your WhatsApp phone up for people to reach out to you.
Yes, if anybody has interest in that, yes. Because as a matter of fact, let's say Africa, in almost everything, our information is low. In almost everything, what we deal with is shallow. If sometimes I watch some of the things that some of these guys who are building global institutions talk about, and when you turn to us and the things that we discuss, the difference is too much.
Yeah, it's too much. Sure.
We want to solve the poverty, but we spend time talking about have no relevance. They just waste our resources, our time, our energy, and we consume the politics, the comedy, the sports, and we turn out to say there is no job, people are not building factories. The conversation,
it's too much.
They're very far from where we want to go.
Yeah.
You know, and so you see the Africans, and that's why the negativities will start to come in. And it doesn't even matter where they live. I don't even think that it matters where you live when it comes to building finance. It matters what you know and what you're ready to put into practice. You know, because some people have sell on their head. They sell on their head. If they have the right financial understanding and they have the right financial plan and they have the discipline, give them 10 years. Give them 10 years. They will do far more better than most of their colleagues. You know, but it doesn't matter. You could be engineer. I have friends who are engineers who still find it very difficult. And not because they are not good people, but the information on money, they didn't study it. So they only work to get money. And when the money comes, they buy a car and a house. The rest, they wait for Senate. And
well, Robert, thank you very much. Well, Commander doesn't mind if you want to reach out to him, 02466 31874, 02466 31874, 02466 31874. He's more than available to help if you really want to reach out to Kwabena Obeng Diakon. He's also into real estate development as well. So if you need any advice, he is there to help you as well. Kwabena, thank you very much and have a blessed weekend.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Get connected with God every day with great Christian music and positive inspiration right here on the station, COP Radio.
Well, friends, you had that for yourself. You have to start learning the education all by yourself. It's not taught in schools. They didn't teach me here in USA, but you know, I have to struggle and get it myself. So wherever you are, Kwabena drew my attention to something that I was speaking with Kobe yesterday. I think one of the things that we want to bring onto the platform, I've been asking you since Monday that what kind of segments do you want us to add to the Inspirational Morning Drive, and one of them that we're going to add is tax education on your payroll. Tax education on your payroll, the kind of deductions that is on your payroll. Some of us don't even understand the deductions on your payroll. Some of them are questionable, some of them you can adjust them. So we'll get an expert to come in, bring in a dummy payroll, and sometimes you are going into a new company and they're asking you how many percentage do we take out of your 401k and how much do you want to contribute. Some of them they don't even know. If you are doing your taxes, do you have to put 0, married or not married, or single or divorced or hanging in the space, and then we'll do all those stuff. And at the end of the day, money doesn't come in or money comes in, you file in your taxes. Do you understand all that? So we're going to bring experts on to talk to us about some of these things. Be informed and get the personal financial education. Thank God it's Friday. I want to bring you this video and then we will end it up for today. Just take a listen.
That's right. Look at this machine you did to boat, and when he said fast high ready look at this. You need the legends. So I don't go to say so. It will just also Rachache.
Thank you for joining live on COP USA Radio. It's 3 minutes past the hour 10 Eastern Standard Time. Well, thank God it's Friday. Don't do what I wouldn't do. Let's get so the Zig Ziglar conversation still goes on. Do you still want to keep the small library or open it up into a big library and reduce your big screen into a smaller screen so we can get some education for ourselves? Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. It's a pleasure coming your way. You allowed me into your home, into your hearts to be inspired. Bye for now.
Things that are the same anymore. Crystal sweet, I am sent. Oh, things that are the same anymore. Crystal sweet, I am sent. 15 ways to be successful. 13 ways to make much money. But the one way to make to heaven. Preach on man, you don't preach about it. Last Sunday I heard you preach. I must confess, I was confused. Was that church or Gimba? Ba-na-na-na-na-na-na. 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 Say things are not the same anymore. Crystal sweet, iron sun. He said things are not the same anymore. Crystal sweet, iron sun. Get target for the next harvest. Get
Christian music and positive inspiration right here on the station COP Radio.
The sheep is being slaughtered for the shepherd. Ow! Listen, we gotta walk like the preacher, talk like the preacher, and style our hair like the preacher man. What happened to becoming like Jesus, the man who died to save our souls? I said things are not the same anymore. Crystal sweet, iron sun, things are not the same anymore. Crystal sweet, iron sun, things are not the same anymore. Crystal sweet, iron sun.
With Christian music and positive inspiration right here on the station COP Radio.
The Kingdom Agenda rests on your shoulders, Oberima. The 2021 National Payment Week and Father's Day celebration is here again under the theme Revived by the Spirit with Godly Influence to Possess the Nations. Make room to be influenced by the Spirit of God on the national level.
Man, the image and the glory of God.
Man, be strong and courageous.
Man, maximize your potential. Man, build for godly influence.
Mondays and Fridays, June 14th and 18th. Regional Influence, Tuesday, June 15th. And the Jerusalem Influence, your districts, Wednesdays, Thursdays, Saturdays, and Sunday as we honor men of influence in our community. Oberima, it's time to take your rightful place. Happy Father's Day, Oberima. COP USA Radio, broadcasting to the nations.